Hey BookTube, um, I have had one doozy of a week, and now I'm going to try to catch up on like my weekly reads and showing you what has been read and what is being read and all that fun stuff. So, the first book that I think, because I remember I was reading The Spider Strikes and Checkmate in Rio, and they're really good, but I just got excited about the other books I was reading. So, this is the first Day Keane book I've ever read, and it is Home is the Sailor. This is really, really good. It's about this guy who has been on a boat, basically working for the last 18 years. And he docks in Southern California with like 14 grand or something like that from the money he saved during his working on the boat or whatever. And he's going to go back to Minnesota and buy a farm and get married and the American dream, basically, you know? So he gets off the boat and gets rip roaring drunk to the point where he can't really remember anything that happened. He wakes up in a cottage on the beach and isn't really 100% as to why. And it turns out that he got drunk in a bar and all of his money's gone. So he's pissed off about that. Sorry. Um, and he finds out that he got in a fight with some guy, put him in the hospital, and this girl brought him to these like villas or whatever, and took his money and had the bartender at this little resort put all of his money in a safe. And so he's like, oh, like I thought I got robbed. That's awesome. And then the cops come and arrest him for the guy that he got into a fight with and put in the hospital. And then the thing happens that happens in a lot of these books, and that is that whole insta-love thing. Now, for some reason, it makes sense in this book. And if you don't like that, I would still suggest reading this because I don't know if it's the way it's done or what, but it works. And the story, I don't want to give anything away, that's the whole thing, but the way the story goes through him remembering what happened on the nights he got drunk and reading events that are happening in the newspaper, like the way all of that is strung together is really, really, really good. So this, oh, it's so hard to say, but this is like just really a really, really good book. I think on the awesome star system, I think I did 4, but I don't know if I feel like I give a lot of things 4s, but I feel like if something's gonna be a 5, it better be really, really, really fucking good. So yeah. So Home is the Sailor by Day Keane. And then I read Quarrys Vote. And this Quarrys Vote was the Last Quarry book for a really long time. Um, I want to say something like, I should have looked this up, but I think it was something like, it was written in the late 80s, and another Quarry book didn't show up until like 2003, I think. So, a good chunk of time went by, and the Quarry books are really good with setting up things that have happened in previous books. So if you haven't read the books in order or whatever, it's okay. Now, for some reason, to me, I can't do that. Like, I can't read the books out of order. Like, for any series, that's not something that I do. And with the Quarry books, like, in every single book of the Quarry series I've read, Max Allan Collins has gone into Quarry's background, why he's doing what he's doing, what happened when he got back from Vietnam to make this decision easier and everything. And each time he does it, it's in a different way. So it's not him like rehashing the same old crap for the sake of doing it. It's always for a benefit of somebody or what have you. And all the Quarry books that I've read so far, so that would be Quarry, Quarry's List, Quarry's Deal, Quarry's... Shit. Oh no. Oh, Quarry's Cut, and then Quarry's Vote. They have all been good. Some of them are obviously better than others. And in this one, it's a little different, but Quarry's a little bit older. And I don't know. It was just a really, really good book. Like, I don't know if it would be good if this was if Quarry's Vote was the first Quarry book you ever read. But it was just good and satisfying. And then I was like, because normally I read a Quarry book every month, but then I was like, you know what? Like, these are the end of the first run of Quarry books, like, and then he's written a bunch more for Hard Case Crime, and I'm like, maybe I should jump into that because I have the next book right here, The Last Quarry, with a Robert McGinnis cover. Oh my gosh. It's just, and in the picture here you could see he's much older. And this book was amazing. And like, it's a much older Quarry who gets kind of pulled back into the world that he's tried so hard to get away from. The thing about this that is awesome is that this really is, as far as I know, the last Quarry book. And it has an ending and whatever. And all the Quarry books, like the book that comes after this is called The First Quarry. So I'm assuming that's like the first job he had. And so I think a lot of the other Quarry books, like Quarry in the Middle, Quarry's Ex, Quarry in the Black, and is there another one that I'm missing? Quarry's Choice. I believe all of those chronology, like in the timeline, happened way earlier, like at the beginning of his career. So, but this was nice to have like an ending because, like, if you watch the show goes on a whole different thing than the books do. So it's nice to, following the books, to have like this perfect little end, like the best end you think that you would ever get in a Quarry book, basically. Oh, and just to finish talking about Quarry, I got my first package of arcs. So that was awesome. And what I got was Donald Westlake, Forever and a Death, a big ass hardcover of it. This is actually the final because this came out on July 13th, or June 13th. And this book, he was hired to write the story for the next James Bond movie after GoldenEye. And for one reason or another, this never was made, and I think Tomorrow Never Dies was the one we got. But the Bond that never was is what it says on the back. But it's like a spy thriller, like super action-packed kind of thing. And I am not very far into it. I've sat down twice to read it, and I'm, on page 57. And the reason being is because I think the size of this book. That sounds so stupid, but like the majority of the stuff I read either fits on my phone or is this big. So when you get like a book that's like twice the size, I've been taking the dust jacket off because I can't read with the dust jacket on. It drives me nuts. But even just, and it's got a nice, beautiful spine. But the story itself is great, and I'll be reading it. The chapters are really short, and I'm on chapter 15, and I'm on page 57. And it keeps jumping point of views, and so far it's really, really, really good. And the problems I'm having with the book, I believe, are based on the size of this edition of it. So that's kind of shit to put on the book. Like you know what I'm saying. Like, I like the book, I just don't like the size of the book. And then I got a super arc, Quarry's Climax, which is the next Max Allan Collins Quarry book that comes out in October 10th. So that's awesome. This is the first arc I've ever, like, real advanced review copy I've ever gotten. So, or received. So this is awesome. I'm like super, super geeked out on that. And that comes out in October, so that gives me a few months to read the Quarry books that I haven't read yet, which I'll probably do really soon because I'm super excited about the Quarry books right now. Like, it's a lot of fun. Then this is the first book I actually read because I didn't even start reading this month until July 5th because of all the holiday hubbub and hullabaloo. But I read Ham on Rye by Charles Bukowski, and it is, I believe, yeah, it can't get any earlier than this. In the chronology of the Harry Chininsky character, it's the first book. Even though I think it was the fourth to be written. But it basically has Hank from being about a year or two old is the first memory, and it goes up through when he's done with college and the beginnings of World War II. And it is so good. And the thing that struck me about this book more than anything was the fact that there's so much stuff in that book that you could not get away with now. And a lot of his childhood growing up mirrored mine. And for those of you who don't know, Harry Chininsky is pretty much Charles Bukowski. And so this is very autobiographical. At the same time, probably with embellishments. So take it for what it is. But it's the same character that was in Post Office that I was all geeked out about last month. So just like Post Office, this was a lot deeper than Post Office. I love Post Office, and I might even read Post Office again. Ham on Rye is probably a better book than Post Office, but I don't know if I could go through all that again. Like, I know there's people who read Ham on Rye all the time. Like, it's like their Catcher in the Rye kind of thing. No pun on the rye bit. My dogs are going nuts. But I just really, really liked it. And I think the reason why I liked it is because so much stuff that happened in there was kind of like me growing up. And close enough to me growing up to where it was like I totally related. I don't know if you didn't have that kind of childhood or whatnot, if this book would still be interesting. I think it would, but I don't know. So that was Ham on Rye. And then as I was reading the Donald Westlake book, Forever and a Death, I realized that I had never read the books he wrote under Richard Stark, which is the Parker series. And so I'm like, you know what? I've had the Hunter, the first Parker, I've had that on ebook for, God, like 2 years, and I've never read it. So I'm like, I'll read it. I'll give it a go. And I know that the difference, according to Donald Westlake, with him writing that and him writing the Richard Stark stuff, is that he wanted the writing to be stark, and that's why he named the guy Richard Stark. He just wanted it like super fast, not a whole lot of embellishments. The story as it is, and that's it, kind of thing. Oh my gosh, this was so good. Like most of these like crime and detective fiction books, you could finish them in a day. And this book, The Hunter, I put it down a couple times just to do normal things around the house. I just saw my coffee. Oh my God, that's so good. But it was amazing. And this was, for me, like a 5-star read if we're doing that. And it was just great. It had short chapters, to the point. The book was told in 4 parts, and each part, the chapters started over, kind of thing. So, like, even if you were like halfway through or 2/3 through, it still felt new because all of a sudden you get, oh, chapter 1, here we go again. And it was really great. And basically, the gist of the story, and that's the thing, because Parker is not a likable character at all. And I think if this is a perfect example of where a book like this being told in third person works a lot better, because if this was told in first person, I would have to sit there and like rationalize with him why he's doing some of the things that he's doing. And you totally don't have to in this. And basically, he's a criminal. He doesn't work for the mob, but he has done work for the mob. But he is not affiliated. And he basically does bank robberies, payroll heists, and stuff like that. And on this one job he did, everybody turned on him and left him for dead, kind of thing. And so the book starts off, I think it's like 8 months or 18 months. I can't remember exactly. It's like a while later, maybe even just 6 months. And he's back and he wants revenge and all this other stuff. And so he's just like hunting down all the people that wronged him, mainly one guy. But everyone who kind of had a part in screwing him over, he's going after. And it was just so good. It was well written. It was quick. Like, I kept noticing I was holding my breath as I was reading, and I'd go because like it was so intense that I didn't even realize I was holding my breath. It was just like really, really, really good. I can't say enough good stuff about it. It was great. So that's The Hunter by Richard Stark, aka Donald Westlake. And then yesterday I drove my daughter to Vegas to visit one of her friends and kind of stay there for a little bit. And one of the rituals I have when I drive to Vegas and back or whatnot is I listen to the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas audiobook. And it's so funny because every time I do it, I go, because the audiobook's loud. It has a lot of loud. It's the one with the main narrator is Harry Dean Stanton, and it has a lot of like sound effects and things in it. And it's really loud, and I always go, why am I listening to this again? Like, it's really loud. Like, this is loud. But it's good. It's always good. Like, if you haven't heard, I mean, it's an abridged version, but it is really good. It's like, if you like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and you haven't heard the audio of it, you need to do that. You need to remedy that shizzle because it's awesome. So that was really fun. And I am still listening to The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I'm probably about 60 or 70% through that now. And I've also been reading Get in the Van by Henry Rollins. And yeah, and I started Let me talk about this one quick. Survival Zero by Mickey Spillane, the last Mike Hammer book. Not the last Mike Hammer book, but it was written in 1970 or released in 1970, and the next book didn't come out for almost 20 years. So it was definitely the end of an era. And like every other Mike Hammer book, the book starts off with him next to a dead body and him trying to figure it out. And it's just an old buddy of his who called him up, and when Mike got there, he was dead. So, a little bit of the same old, but I'll see how this goes. I'm not very far into it. But Get in the Van by Henry Rollins. It's basically his journal entries from when he was in Black Flag and touring. And if you're a big Black Flag fan, this is really, really good reading. If you just like Henry Rollins, I don't know if it would be as good. But this is the second edition, and I had the first edition in paperback. It was like a really big paperback. And through moving, I don't know where it is. I probably lent it out or something like that. But this is the second edition that I have the ebook of, and this is the one I wish I had the paperback version of, because it has more to it, but it also has a ton of the Raymond Pettibon artwork, which I absolutely love. All of their like flyers and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff in here that I have actually never seen. Not a lot, but enough to make me go, I've never seen this picture. Why have I never seen this picture? So that's getting to me a little bit. And it goes up through 1986, and I'm in 1984 right now. So I thought I was almost done, but I'm like maybe a third of the way through the book. So whatevs. It's good. It's a big chunker. So I'm just moseying through that. So other than that, that's all I've been reading, I'm pretty sure. So if you have been reading any of these or read any of these and you want to chit chat about it, please let me know. I would love to talk and chat. Bye, BookTube.